Hi there, it's me again, Lucy from MindFood. We're an Ealing-based charity who help people with stress, depression and anxiety by teaching gardening and well-being tips. And if you enjoyed the session on Monday, welcome back. And either way, welcome to MindFood. Wednesdays are growing days. And this is going to be a rather awesome day because if you haven't tried gardening before, you're going to discover that it's something that's going to be useful, transformative and fun, and you might even find that it's a reason to eat ice cream, so listen out for that later. So anyway, I don't claim to be any expert gardener. Yes, I've had a bit of training, but really that isn't the point of it for me. For me, the really big thing is that you can get just as much enjoyment, if not more, by just having a go and managing your expectations, and those are both super useful life skills. So I'm hoping that you'll make the same discovery that I did, which is that when I am gardening, I get the same feeling as when I was little, having a little potter around in the garden, making mud pies, losing myself completely in the moment, and in that sort of context, whether anything comes from gardening at all is really, just doesn't matter at all. So so I think what really put me off gardening for a good long while, about 40 years really, was the thought that you have to be some sort of expert. Everybody around me seemed to know what they were doing, and I just felt complete amateur. And also, my only real experience of gardening had been trying to grow supermarket herbs, and they'd all died on me, and so that was a bit of a worry. Sound familiar? But since I've been trying my hand at gardening properly, I've actually found that nature does a pretty good job of surviving in spite of me. And I think that is the amazing thing about nature. It does a pretty good job of surviving in spite of humans generally. It's really just when we go out of our way to destroy it that, we don't let it do its thing. So that's really what I want you to take away from this session is just have a go. It's all about having a bit of fun and a bit of a play. And the other thing is that one of my favourite things is getting stuff for free. And when you're having a go at gardening or growing stuff, when you haven't even had to spend any money, well, there probably couldn't be a better time to try something like that. And this is how we think about growing at MindFood. All we're going to do is try and harness a moment that will allow you to watch things grow, and the rest will soon follow. You can't make things grow. All you can do is give seeds and plants the conditions that they need to thrive, and people are a lot like that too. So this is how we'll link up the whole gardening and well-being thing. There are 5 stages or 5 steps to growing. There are planning and preparing, planting and sowing, protecting and nurturing, picking and harvesting, and practicing permaculture. And we're going to go through each of these stages on Wednesdays, but I think you'll probably guess where we're kind of heading with things. So anyway, this week is all about planning and preparing. And in short, it's about taking a moment to have a look at the resources you already have and what they'll allow you to grow. And this is the key to be able to make an encouraging start, both in gardening and well-being terms. You're basically looking at your resources, identifying any challenges and planning around them. So basically you're giving yourself the best chance of success. And further down the line you can have a think about what you really want to be growing and what you'll need to be able to get there. But that'll be for another day, because remember, we're all about the long game here. It's about little steps. So the key today is, what do you have at your disposal right now? And the sorts of things that you might want to consider are going to be about how much space you've got. Are you going to be growing indoors or outdoors? Do you have any soil, or are you just going to be using cotton wool or just water or even just rocks? Have you got any seeds? And if you don't have any seeds, there's lots of ways that you can find some effectively. I don't know if anybody would recognise maybe this sort of thing at the back of the cupboard. Lovely potato ready to grow. Or there might be seed heads of things that you grew last year, or that you might find out on a walk. And inside you'll find the little seeds all ready to go. So these are some Mizuna seeds, and that we're going to make a sort of, we'll probably use them for cress or for mustard really. Or you might even, if you're very lucky, come across some of these. So look out for those. And also these might be worth a little try. Dried beans. So they don't all work, and the best thing to do is to pop them in a big bowl of warm water to see if they sink or swim. If they sink, then they're viable. If they float, they're effectively dead, so they've either been irradiated or they're just too old to work. So lots of things you can try there. Then you've got to have a little think about what you're going to grow things into. So it might be something like a salad tray. It might be that you need to eat a load of ice cream. It might be that you're going to sow into egg boxes. Or possibly, and we'll look at this next week, sewing into tubes, loo roll tubes. So there's lots of things you can try. And then further down the line, and if you're in a position to actually shop for any seeds, then you might want to think about what you actually want to eat and how quickly you want it. So you might be thinking about something really quick like cress or salads. Radishes only take 28 days in the warmer months to go from seed to an actual edible radish. But then also you might want to think much further ahead. So you might be wanting to think now about growing a pumpkin for October, or even starting your Brussels sprouts for Christmas. So they're lovely things to get started with now. So this week is all about doing a little research, a little rummage, and a forage. It's all about ideas gathering, and as ever, we'd like this to be a really collaborative experience. So if you could follow us on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and comment with any of your ideas, any problems you think you may have in terms of being able to grow with what you have right now. We'll look out for conversations on those, and we'd love you to just start having a go at sort of experimenting. So I'll leave you with that thought. We'll post more on our Facebook page, so if you're following on that, you'll see all the ideas that we're adding into the mix. And otherwise, I look forward to catching up next week.